Hi, I'm Paul, and I teach a stretch class at the Wisconsin Athletic Club, the WAC, and I miss the class, and I miss the people who come to the class. And so we've got here today a yoga class that involves some of the same kinds of stretching that we do, along with some strength work to keep ourselves mobile and moving and feeling like we're getting stronger during this time of isolation. So we're going to start by simply standing here and focusing on our breath, because the breath is something that no matter what, we are always able to control it. And by controlling our breath, we are able to use it to control what happens in our body, our emotions, calming ourselves down, pausing before we speak. So think about the ball of your big foot, big toe, and your little toe. Have them centered on the ground, and have both sides of your heel centered on the ground. And you're going to get a lot of distracting thoughts that will come into mind. What are you going to do for dinner? It's a beautiful Wisconsin afternoon in the middle of April, and it's a little chilly, and there's a lot of distractions here. But it's just way nice to be outside. So I'm going to ignore the distractions and really focus on filling my belly with air. So the process will be filling your belly, your diaphragm, then your chest, and then exhaling the opposite. And so that you're pushing that last bit of air out of your belly. Inhale. And exhale. So have your shoulders up and back, your knees are bent, and just focus on feeling really grounded, feeling like you have a strong base in your legs, and you're feeling strong. Try to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. When there's a lot of allergies outside, a lot of allergens outside, it's hard for me to breathe in through my nose, so I end up breathing a lot through my mouth, which is just fine. The idea, again, is to fill your belly. You know, when you start feeling yourself feeling a little grounded, your belly's filling up with air, and then squeezing all the air out, we'll come into a forward fold. I just got done with a bike ride, a short ride outside, but no matter when I ride, my glutes and hamstrings tend to get kind of tight. So I'm going to have to bend my knees so that my fingers can come down to the ground. And the reason we do this is to try to create some more looseness in our upper body. If you want to, this first time, you can extend this a little bit into a ragdoll position where your hands are on your opposite biceps or cradling your elbows. And if you wish to just simply hang here a few moments, find your breath again, which is a bit of a challenge because your belly is right on your thighs and you're trying to still breathe in. And then on your next inhale, come into a half lift. So come up, hands on shins or on your thighs. The goal is to have a flat back. And then on your next exhale, come into a high plank. Hands are roughly underneath your shoulders. You're trying to push the ground away. Find your breath here again. And on your next exhale, bring your body down into a low plank. Keep your elbows tight to yourself, and then come up either into an up dog, which is on the top of your feet, or into a cobra, which is where I will be. And if you need to be into a baby cobra because you don't come up very well, your back's a little tight, that's fine too. And again, find your breath here the first time. Curl your toes under and come into a down dog. And again, none of your poses need to be perfect. I'm an older guy who's had a lot of broken bones and a lot of arthritis, and bones don't move very well and the joints don't move very well. So I get into poses that feel right. They're a little challenging, but I can manage them. Bend my knees a little bit here to get into a better position so that I'm more flat with my arms and my back. I will work out a little stretching in my calves by bicycling my feet out. And then I'm going to, on my next exhale, I'm going to bring my right foot forward and then come into a low lunge. So from here, I want to have my ankle underneath my knee. Let me get a quick drink. And be on my back knee. And if you need to have a towel or anything underneath your back knee, that's fine. What we're going to do is this low lunge, having your hands on your knee and this coming forward. And you'll feel a stretch in your left hip flexor and in your hamstrings along your right side. Have your body turned slightly. And just come forward until you feel a good stretch in the front of your left thigh. And then we'll come into a half split. Push your hips back, straighten this leg so that it's not all the way straight, because that puts too much stress on the tendons in your knee. Just come back. So now you're feeling much more of a stretch through your hamstrings on your right side. And then we'll come forward on the exhale. Just push gently. Don't ever force these kind of stretches, because you're in kind of a vulnerable spot and your muscles will stretch to a place they shouldn't be. And come back. And this will be your inhale. I think I misspoke the last time. And then exhale. And again, when you're doing this on your own, and if you want to spend more time, a few breaths here, and then a few more breaths here, that's just fine. And we'll do this 4 or 5 times. This really works in the mobility of your hips and opening things up, because every time you do this, you will find yourself opening up more and more. Then we'll bring your knees back, come back into a high plank, go through this flow where it's high to low plank, into a cobra, and back to down dog. And then bring your left knee forward, into a low lunge on the left side. You can spend more time in the downward dog there to collect your breath if you need to. And again, in the low lunge, we'll come forward. So again, you're going to be feeling it here on your left thigh, left hip flexors. And come forward, hands are on the knee. And then push back into a half split. And if you need blocks for this spot, that's fine as well. And again, you're going to feel this in your hamstring. And then inhale, come forward. And exhale, come back. And inhale. And exhale. And bring your foot back into a high plank, go through your flow, cobra, down dog, and come up. Collect your breath here, focus again on your breathing and filling up your belly. And then walk yourself to the top of the mat, come back into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then come up on the inhale into a mountain pose. And then we're going to exhale into a chair pose. And this is one of the strength poses. And this really works your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, because you're having to focus on really supporting yourself. If you need to have your hands at heart center, that makes it a little bit easier. And just try to, with every breath, try to lengthen on the inhale and exhale. Try to sink further down. And again, this is a pose that requires you to challenge yourself a little bit, but not make it impossible for yourself, because you know I'm not in a perfect position. I'm in the best that I can do today. And then I'll bring my hands down, forward fold, inhale, half lift, exhale, high to low plank, to cobra, to down dog. Gets my breath here. I'll bring my right leg up on the exhale and inhale. I'm sorry, I did that backwards. This is the exhale coming forward, and I'll come in to a warrior 2 position. My knee will be over my ankle. One arm back, one arm forward. Good, find your breath, find that belly spot. I'm gonna reverse this just to have the vision. Take your time in getting to these spaces. Find your breath again, fill up your belly. And then on the next exhale, you're gonna have some options. We're gonna come into a side angle, and so we'll come forward. You're keeping your knee where it is, your hips where they are, but you're trying to start already a twist. So you can put your elbow on your thigh, bring your arm up overhead. You can try to lift yourself. You can bring your arm behind you, or you can try to do a full side angle all the way through. So the idea is to inhale and exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink a little more into the twist. And then your next inhale, you'll come into reverse warrior. Keep your knee where it's at. Come up. Same position with your hips. Hand is on the back leg. You're looking up into the sun. And again, you're finding your breath. And then your next exhale, come into side angle. Inhale, exhale, and then your next inhale, come into reverse. And your next exhale, cartwheel down, come back into high to low plank. Come back into downward dog on the exhale. And now we'll do the other side. Inhale and then exhale to warrior 2. Again, knee over ankle. Lengthen your spine with the inhale. And on the exhale, try to sink lower down. Check your arms. Look out over the middle finger of your front arm. And again, we're coming to side angle here, so you have some choices. Keep your knee where it's at. You can drop your elbow onto your knee. Bring your arm up. You can elevate your arm to really work on your core. Bring your arm behind you. Or you can come into a full side angle. I will stick here. Try to lengthen your body with the inhale. And exhale, try to stack your shoulders more on top of each other. Inhale and exhale, try to rotate. And then on your next inhale, come into reverse warrior. Good. Find your breathing into your belly again. And your next exhale, come to side angle. Inhale into reverse warrior. And next exhale into your flow. If you need to, you can come right back into downward dog if that works. Otherwise, you can continue your flow. Come into Cobra. Yeah, and exhale into down dog. And we will walk forward. Yeah, exhale into your forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale. Mountain pose on the inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, down dog. And we'll go through the warrior again a little more quickly. On the breathing. Get your breath here. Inhale your leg up. Exhale forward. Drop your bottom, your back foot, your heel down. Come into, whoa, microphone. We'll put it in the pocket. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale into high plank. Come down and up. Back into down dog. Inhale left. Foot up. Drop your right heel. And into warrior two. Exhale. Inhale. And come down. High to low plank. Cobra. Down dog. Hold here for a moment. And then walk yourself forward. Catch your breath. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And exhale, hands to heart center. And then drop your hands. All right, so from here, I'm gonna catch our breath a little bit. Again, if you're working by yourself and you want to practice by yourself, you can do more of those warrior routines. All right, so we'll do two more, a couple of different routines here, just to add in some more. Starting to get just beautiful with the sunshine. Come into mountain pose. Inhale, exhale to forward fold. Half lift, inhale. High to low plank. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, down dog. And then from here, we're simply going to do some strengthening work with our core. And we won't do much of this because it's fairly challenging. So drop your elbows here into a dolphin pose. All right, so your hands, your feet and knees and hips are in the same spot as they would be. And again, this is not a perfect pose by any means. The strength comes in coming forward into an elbow plank and pushing yourself back. And then inhale and exhale. And if we can do one more of those. Inhale and exhale. If you're feeling particularly strong, you can do more of these by bringing a leg up and coming forward and exhaling, and then doing several on one side and then several on the other side. All right, then we'll come into a child's pose just to rest a moment and for me to check my notes. All right, catch your breath. And then come into a seated position. And we'll come into a seated butterfly, because again, this is a really good stretch for your inner thigh muscles as well as your lower back. And bring your soles of your feet together, your toes come together, your heels come together. I typically try to grab my toes since this is a really awkward and difficult stretch. And the goal here is during the inhale, trying to straighten your back. And on the exhale, see if you can, your legs will open up a little more. Inhale. And again, you can hold this one as long as you wish. And then we'll come into a cross-legged pose, and you can do this a couple of ways. If you are a little more limber than I am, you can bring your foot up here and have them both down. Clearly, I can't do that. So I'm just going to come into a regular cross-legged pose. It'd be pretty funny if the Sendik's food market stops for us. I don't think they're going to, though. So from here, we're going to start again in our usual pose with our spine long, and then going to slowly, with as straight a back as possible, move your fingers out. Breathe into your belly, and then bring it a little farther out. Try to lengthen your spine again with the inhale, and sink a little bit farther down with the exhale. And then bring your hands back, switch your feet. Do the same thing. Lengthen your spine and bend at the hips. Yep. This is a great stretch for your hips, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of hip openers right now and lower back strengtheners. Again, lengthen with the inhale. As the exhale, relax and try to sink a little bit farther in. Good. All right. So we're going to come in now to some lower back and glute strengthening exercises. Find yourself on your mat, belly down. You put your left cheek down just to rest for a second. Leave your hands up by your shoulders. Just catch your breath again. Focus again in your belly. Good. And we'll do some baby cobras and unsupported baby cobras. So have your hands underneath your shoulders, but this time keep your hands in a W and try to just raise up your shoulders and your back and your belly off the mat. The trick here is again to be breathing out of your belly since your belly is on the mat. And again, hold this for a couple of breaths. And come down. Bring your other cheek down. Catch your breath. And try this one more time. Good. Now bring your hands back. We'll come into a locust pose. Have your palms up And we'll try to do that same thing, but this time everything comes off the ground except for our lower belly and our hips. So in the locust pose, try to bring everything up. Really try to squeeze your glutes and your lower back and try to come up as high as you can. Bring your shoulders back and then rest. Cheek down. Yep, we're gonna do that one more time. And then come up. And again, if you're working by yourself with this routine, you can easily do a bunch more of this. Oh, so this guy did not stop to deliver us groceries. And we'll come down. All right, so we're going to come into some more challenging poses that may be a little bit more difficult, and we'll see how they go. They're challenging for me, so do what you can. So we'll start on this side. I want you to bring your left elbow up and your my right ankle, and try to reach back and grab a hold of my ankle. And the goal here is to be bringing my foot to the right of my hip. That'll never happen for me. But the goal here is to feel a real thick, strong stretch in your quads, in those top of your thigh muscles. And again, try to lengthen, pull back a little bit, and then on the exhale, pull in a little bit. So one of the things we do in the stretch class is a lot of the resistive movements, or pushing against something to create some stress on the opposite side of the muscle we're trying to stretch. So I'm pushing against my hand with my foot and then relaxing and seeing if I can get a little bit deeper stretch. Good, now I'll go on the other side. Once I get into this, it's a little bit easier, but still doesn't want to move much. Okay, again, I'm going to push my hand with my foot. And on the exhale, try to pull down a little bit farther. And then up, push, and exhale, back. And then that could be enough, or if you can or want to try, and I'll see if I can do this today, is to do both of them into a bow pose or a frog pose. And then come up with both. I can't do this for very long. This is a challenge. But again, the goal is to breathe into your belly so that you can relax and let the pose just be. Do what you can. All right, good. Oh, all right. So just did a whole bunch of work on our front side, and now going to try to do some additional hip openers. So from here, come into a, push yourself up to plank, back into Cobra, bring your right leg forward and come into a half pigeon. And again, the focus is right here. And coming down, holding that for a number of seconds. Continue to breathe and drop farther. Again, however you do this is good. You don't need to worry about having your leg at a 90-degree angle. That doesn't work very well. Again, come up to a high plank, come back, left leg up and forward, and we're here. Again, you're trying to work those glute muscles that we don't typically get. You can kind of push out to the side a little bit. There you go. And then we'll simply finish by pushing up to the plank, back to downward dog, walking forward into a forward fold, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, a big mountain. And exhale to that standing at attention. And again, find your breath here. All right. If you like this, hit the like on the button, subscribe to the channel, go to my webpage, Simple Endurance Coaching, check us out. Thanks a lot for practicing with me. Have a great day.